watch this, and it'll show you both methods, and then you can just pick a method. It'll be a short recording. So the whole thing is to take a problem like this one, where it says 2 out of 5 students, so that's a part to a whole comparison, and figure out a percentage. So 2 out of 5 students have read The Hobbit. Find the percent of students that have read The Hobbit. And you're supposed to try it with the ratio table method first, and then with the fraction method. And sometimes one's better than the other. Sometimes, you know, one works nicer than the other. So if you know both methods, you can pick the best method. So the ratio table method is, you know, doing a part to whole comparison. So 2 out of 5 students have read The Hobbit, but I want to figure out what percent. So what'd you do, Seabass?
So I went to 2 from 2 out of 5, and I times it by 2.
Okay. 4 out of 10.
And then I did times 10.
Right, so you doubled, and then you times by 10.
Yeah.
So you got 100. So this is 40. So your answer's 40 because it's percent, which means per 100. 40 out of 100 means 40% of the students read The Hobbit. So the fraction method is just using kind of your benchmark fraction. If you know this by memory, it's especially helpful. If you don't, you know, you should kind of just practice these and learn them by memory. But 2/5, if this is the decimal 1, 2/5, the fraction would be here. And the benchmark fraction, we're counting by 0.2s, right? Or 2/10, or 20/100, right? You guys see that? So the fraction method is go from the fraction to the decimal, and this is the tens place, the hundreds place, and go from the decimal to the percent. So if you have it memorized, you could just go fraction, decimal, percent, and then there's your answer. That's a really handy method when the numbers are kind of messy, like 1/3 and 2/3. Yeah, like when you can't, in a ratio table, get to something really quick. Exactly.
So that would be 1/12.
Well, let's look at the next one and see why this method might be more helpful. So on this next one, 2 out of 3 students have read the Diary of Anne Frank, right? So if we do the part to whole comparison here, what's the part, Zoe? Pardon me?
Oh, it's 2/3.
And the whole is 3, right? We want to get the bottom to 100. That's harder. What'd you do? You can get to 99, so that's easy. That's not a bad strategy, by the way. Multiplying by 33, right? You guys agree with that? And then can't you get to 1 from 2?
Divide.
Divide. Fraction bars mean divide, right? So 2 divided by 2 is 1, and 3 divided by 2. What's 3 divided by 2? It's 1. 1.5, right? So the method works because now I can add. Oh, but I want 100. So I divided the wrong thing, right? Oops. Lost my focus. Undo. Where do I want the 1? I want a 1 down here, don't I? So I have to divide by 3. Right idea. Got careless. So 2 divided by 3 is 2/3, right? So now I can take my columns and add 99 and 1 and get 100. So I have to add 66 and 2/3, so I get 66 and 2/3%. It works as long as you understand you're trying to get 100 on the bottom and you can always get that 1. Some people like that method the best. Other people have their decimal fractions memorized. Fractions to decimals and decimals to fractions. So by the fraction method, rather than the ratio table method, we know 2/3 is what we're looking at. We're looking at, we're looking at this piece over here. So we know 2/3 is the same as, what was that fraction we worked on today? 0.66 repeating, right? I'm going to just do ... for a minute, right? But it's really 0.6 repeating. That's how you write it simply. Yeah, you can. The reason I put the ... repeating is to change a decimal to a percent. You always want to make sure you know where the tenths and hundredths place is, because that's the whole part of the percent. So the percent is 66.6 repeating percent. And that's the same thing as 66 and 2/3%. This is the same as this. So the fraction to decimal method works better for other people. You get to pick. Yes.
I could like kind of. So I knew that
2/3.
yeah, and I knew that
Yeah.
3 times 33.3 equals 100 from what you just taught us.
Right.
2 times that.
But you need the repeating if you want to be exactly accurate.
Um,
So you did 3 times 33.3 repeating. So what you have to do, is you have to know that that's 99.9 repeating. When you write that, that's actually 100. That's a really weird concept, you guys, that you have to have a lot more math to understand.
99 repeating.
It is.
That's good.
But you don't actually have enough background for me to show you that. You're making faces. I'm not actually kidding. But I can't do that right now. It's you'll do it next year on when you start doing a little more algebra. So there's nothing wrong with that if you can take the leap and just say you know that's 100. And then when you multiply your 2 by 33.3 repeating, that's easier to believe that that's 66.6 repeating.
Yeah.
Right? So your idea, it works. You can get there. Okay? So I'm going to post that. You haven't even